When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices. Plus, extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with points. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
This episode is brought to you by Honda. When you test drive the new Prologue EV, there's a lot that could impress you about it. There's the class-leading passenger space, the clean, thoughtful design, and the intuitive technology. But out of everything, what you'll really love most is that it's a Honda. Visit honda.com/EV to see offers.
Plus locations in St. Cloud, Rochester, Mankato, and Eau Claire. Medifest. Tell them Brooke sent you.
Now, live from the TCL broadcast studios, it's Joe Souchere and Patrick Royce with Sports Talk.
It is a Wednesday. The mayor.
That's right.
The mayor negotiated a deal with upper management where he gets to leave early on 5 Wednesdays. I don't know if it's from Memorial Day to Labor Day or if they can be used later holidays. Mm-hmm. But 5 Wednesdays, he gets to leave an hour early at 3 o'clock, and today is one of those. Yep. And we just... to make sure he doesn't get shortchanged.
Yes. We are not Ernst & Young.
No. Just so he doesn't get shortchanged, we have a little Post-it note up there above the window in the studio. And would you please mark a line through there now?
I will. We should note that there is a dot started on the third line because he did leave early that last week for one segment. Remember, I got about 5-2.
Right.
So
yeah, so
we did start number 3.
We're actually 3 1/10 now, I think.
So we're gonna go.
There we go.
All the way down.
There's 3.
There we go. And now could we get the fanfare so it is official, folks?
3. There are 2 remaining, except he's going to have to stay over.
Yeah, he's going to have to do the first segment of the ride one of these days.
Right, to equal
what is on
left early.
the mayor's mind on Friday at 4:05? Right, we can do that one.
Yes. So with no mayor, of course, we kind of have to because we plan out the ride show.
Yeah,
and we take up all the good sports topics. Well, we can't then use them up now. For instance, we're starting the ride with the Amazing Esco. But we can't spend all the time talking about the Amazing Esco now, right?
Right. So let's do something that maybe the late great Dark Star would do. Because this is up on my Wikipedia page.
Okay.
James Garfield. What do you think about him? He left us early with an assassination. Was he efficient? Call me now.
We could do that.
Maybe not.
But here's what I got.
Okay.
I saw this from, I believe it was Twins Almanac, who does a fine job every day of sending out what happened this day with the Twins.
Yes.
Well, or the Washington Senators. On this day, June 20th, 1954, the Washington Senators signed 17-year-old Harmon Killebrew.
Oh, Harmon Clayton Killebrew.
For $30,000, the most they have ever paid. Had ever paid for a bonus.
Oh, really?
$30,000. Nope. And it also far exceeded the bonus baby rule. Back then, if you paid some young prospect, there was no draft then. If you paid some prospect over a certain amount of money, I think it was as low as $4,000, maybe $6,000. Okay. Same thing happened to Paul Giel with the New York Giants when he signed with the New York Baseball Giants after his great football career here. He was also a great pitcher. He was a bonus baby. And if you were a bonus baby, you had to go immediately to the major leagues and spend 2 full seasons in the major leagues. No matter if you were a 17-year-old kid from Payette, New Jersey, or a college guy, this was their method to keep down what they thought were outrageous signing bonuses.
Right.
And $30,000 for 17-year-old Harmon Killebrew. Harmon signed on this day in Payette, Idaho. 3 days later, he was in the Senators' uniform. Pinch ran. Didn't play hardly at all those first 2 years. Played a little more his second year. But talk about...
What was that manager? Sorry, now, huh?
Yeah, but talk about... Well, he was 18, so he hit like 130 or something. But talk about a sport capable of shooting itself in the foot. Let's take our best prospects that we had to pay money to and stick them in the major leagues where they won't get any at-bats and take away 2 years of development. Basically.
2 years of prime development.
Yes, 2 years when we're teaching them the game, teaching them to catch up with pro baseball. We're going to have them sitting on the bench in major leagues. So Harmon had that. But Harmon was, today he signed Ozzie Bluege, who was a great third baseman for the Washington Senators, and then went to work for the Griffiths. And I believe he was the money man. I think he was the comptroller, Ozzie. But he moved out here with them, too, when the Twins came out. But he was, as I recall, he was somehow in the area out there, and somebody said, hey, you got to go watch this kid play. We got this home run slugger up on the Oregon border. And he went out there, and Harmon blasted one, and Ozzie, after the game was over, went out and marched it off outside the fence, and basically was 440 feet or something like that as a 17-year-old kid, and marched it off, and he called up Clark Griffith, the old man, and Calvin's uncle, and said, we got to sign this kid. And, of course, Clark thought he was insane because these were the Washington Senators, and they were, finishing last and scuffling like crazy to make any money.
Right.
They were going broke there. First in wars, first in peace, last in the American League was the famous saying. And they'd even done the damn Yankees. The play had been done about the Washington Senators selling their soul to beat the Yankees the one year to beat the Yankees. And I think the name of the play was actually How the Washington Senators Won the Pennant.
A really horrible name, yeah.
Yeah. Donald Wapple, something like that, wrote it.
Well,
but, they had it at the Ordway a couple of years ago, and it had a long run there. I was going to go, but I never got over there. Damn Yankees.
I'm trying to think if I saw that, and I can't recall.
Anyway.
2 things I learned from Harmon.
Yes.
Well, three things I really learned from Harmon. Number one, his autograph was perfect. His penmanship, and he spread the word. Kadir stole a page from Harmon and realized that don't just write it down there.
No, he gave everybody. You know who signs very carefully now?
Who?
Tony, because of Harmon. Tony
was sloppy when he first.
Well, he was a Spanish kid learning. But Tony signs very deliberately when he signs.
That's good to know.
But yeah, Harmon, Rodney Carew, all those guys, he used to always give them, a hard time.
Say nice.
Sign it nice. Yes, that's number one.
Number 2 is his Hall of Fame speech. When the dad was, hey, come on, kids. And what did his mom say?
Mom was mad because they were out ripping up the grass, right?
Yeah, it was one or the other, or the dad was, and the mom's.
No, Mom was the one chastising him and his brother for ripping up the grass, and the dad said, "We're here to raise boys, not grow grass,"
It's
or
just
something like that.
Raise kids, not raise grass. It was just
right like that.
And the most intimate and impressive part was. I was doing an MC work for the Twins Fund, and I had brought Matthew along, who was, just a, 4 or 5 or 6, whatever he was. He was just swinging his feet on to the left of the stage, and Harmon came up and talked to him for about 10 minutes, and I wasn't away because I was doing my duties. And I said, "What was Mr. Killebrew saying to you?" And because they were talking forever, and he said, "We're just talking about Little League and talking about baseball." And he didn't know who. He said, "Who was that guy?" And I said, "Oh, my God, Matthew, it was Harmon Killebrew." And he said, "Oh, what?" So he's always been impressed because it was just the two of them on just a charming conversation.
That's
and
fantastic.
it just warmed my heart that Harmon was just He wasn't talking about himself because Matthew didn't even know who he was.
And, of course, February 26, 1986, he became known to the non-baseball playing portion of America when David Letterman hosted Harmon Killebrew Night, February 26th. He devoted the whole show to Harmon because they were doing celebrity videos, and they had flown a crew out to Idaho. He was living in Ontario, Oregon, I think, right near where he grew up, and he didn't want to do it. And they talked him into doing this little 90-second video, and then the night they were supposed to play it, they got long and they didn't play it.
Oh,
so he called up to apologize and invite Harmon to come and be on the show, and we'd devote the whole show to you. And Harmon said, "No, I'm not going to do that." And he made a bunch of promises, including having Harmon's favorite singer, Charlie Pride, appear and sing to him on the David Letterman show that night. Charlie got fogged in someplace, didn't make it. So they had Charlie sing to him on the speakerphone, and Allison showed up. But it was a good humored evening, and it was of course 1954. It was when we wouldn't see him for 7 years, but here in Minnesota.
Was Charlie Pride a big Killebrew fan too? Then because he did this.
He was a ball player, but Harmon liked him as a singer.
Sure, okay.
I don't know, but maybe he liked him because he used to be a ball player.
Sure,
and he was a singer. But
That's great.
they gave him the kingly sum of $30,000, and baseball went nuts.
Oh, man,
17-year-old kid had to sit on the bench for 2 years, and that's why I thought it was comical when our guy Sid the other day was comparing Sano after 1,000, however many at bats, and Harmon Killebrew after how many at bats. Well, Harmon's first 300 were when he was 18 and 19 years old and hadn't had any seasoning, let's say. So anyway, Harmon Killebrew. Yeah, we're gonna have a little Harmon. We took care of that first segment.
Yeah,
Harmon Killebrew.
The third slash lives as the mayor is taking off Wednesday, mayoral Wednesday afternoons, and we will be back with more sports talk. Do we need him?
Who?
We don't even need him, do we?
Who?
Joe.
Hell no.
We don't need him.
1975?
1975 was my last year, and it was the Kansas City Royals.
Kansas City Royals. When did the Athletics leave Kansas City and go to Oakland?
I knew you were going to ask me that. I'm not sure what year that was.
Earlier, though.
I think 69 was the first year for the Kansas City Royals.
And what have you been doing since then?
I've been doing a little television, baseball broadcasting. And,
Are you're the voice of the Twins?
Well, I wouldn't say that. I'm just
do
one
the
of the
TV
broadcasters.
games,
I do the television broadcast.
And where do you live in the office?
We live in Ontario, Oregon.
Yeah. Nice town?
Well, I think so. It's a great town. Small town.
Now, we mentioned, Harmon, that you had done a film for us, and we were unable to air it that night, but we have the film you did, and we're going to show it tonight in its entirety. But before we see the whole film, we have here just a couple of seconds of that movie, a clip, so to speak, of the film. Tell the people what they're going to see here.
Well, Dave, you were kind enough to send a film crew out to Idaho and Oregon to do this, and just kind of a day in my life out there, and I think...
okay, so this is a teaser of what you're going to be seeing later in its entirety, a film featuring Harmon Killebrew. Watch carefully. I think you'll enjoy it.
Listen to that music.
Is that a tractor?
No, it's a Cadillac.
Okay.
Harmon's getting out of a Cadillac.
Hi, I'm Harmon Killebrew.
That was the tease.
What a tease. And he just gets out of the car, stands up and says, "Hi."
I don't want you to spoil this for me. I've never seen this. I've got to go home and watch this.
Yes.
Don't be airing too much.
Does
of
the
this.
whole show. Did the whole show.
Hi, I'm Harmon
Killebrew. Cut. So when he was TV guy, I was the beat guy then. I was traveling around, and I'd always, when I was end up sitting next to him or something on a bus, I'd always try to say something untoward, because he was such a polite guy. I always tried to agitate him with something.
Sure.
So
Slightly vulgar.
Because he was a Hall of Famer, and he'd turn red, he'd blush, if you say something. And he'd missed the previous series on the road because he was in England for some event, and he met the Queen.
Wow.
And he met the Queen, and and he said something about the Queen, and
What'd
I said,
say? "Oh no!"
I said, Harmon, just from a distance, she's got a big chest on her, doesn't she? she's got a big chest on her. It looks like Harmon. Oh, God, he was.
I looked in her eyes.
Right.
Chesty, as my grandparents would say.
I should have said. I might have said she had a blouse. She's got a blouse full, doesn't she, or something like that. Of course, my all-timer with him is he's going to go in the Hall of Fame. I'm covering the Orange Bowl, January 1, 1984. He's going to go in the Hall of Fame. I'm at the St. Paul paper. I've told this story dozens of times. And the paper calls me up and says, "Hey, Harmon, it looks like Harmon's going to finally get in the Hall of Fame because it was his 4th time on the ballot. We want you." Yeah, it took 4 times.
Wow.
We want strikeouts. Back then, people were paranoid about strikeouts.
Oh, give me a break.
So, fly from Boise. We want you to fly from Boise fly from Miami to Boise. You don't get there directly.
No.
Okay?
Is that 3 stops?
I flew through here on my way, and then Salt Lake, and then Boise.
God.
But we got fogged. We were flying from, the next day, I'm flying from Salt Lake to Seattle. We had fogged. Boise's fogged in, so I fly to Seattle. Get back on the plane, come back, still fogged in, end up in Seattle. End up in Salt Lake, get back on a plane, fly, Boise still fogged in, spend the night in Seattle, fly in, finally get into Boise the next day. Now I rent a car, drive up a couple hours north up to see Harmon, get in there, and finally I'm sitting down with Harmon in his house, and I've had about 3 hours sleep in 2 days flying from Miami. And I said, "Okay, Harmon, let's do that." And I've got my notebook out. I said, "Tell me about some characters you played with, Harmon. Some of the characters." He said, "Oh, boy, that's a tough one." He said, "Clint Courtney, he was a character." And I said, "Why? What made him a character?" He says, "I don't know. He was just a character." and I closed the notebook, and I said, "Harmon, I flew from blah, da, 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 da. They want 6 different stories, Harmon. I can't settle for, he was just a character. We got to have some stories
You got to
here."
give me something to work with.
And then he went down, then he had a room downstairs, and it was not a well-established memorabilia room, but there was all kinds of stuff.
His
down
junk
there.
room, he probably called it.
It's a junk room with baseballs, historic baseballs, MVP trophy, stuff like that.
Oh, all that junk.
Yeah, and so then I got him, and then he got so he could tell me a story about each one of these memorabilia, and then he loosened up and he was fine. But that was Harmon. Oh, I don't know. He was just a character.
Not real comfortable with bragging about himself.
I'm surprised you
wasn't.
didn't just rent a car in Salt Lake and drive up to Boise.
Well, I didn't know about the fog. It was a hump from up there. I don't know.
God, that's awful.
It was a tough journey there, but what a good dude.
Did he live there in the off season too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, he was later on. He got divorced and ended up moving to Arizona. And,
I think Rook's story is the epitome of him. I mean, I bet that's happened a million times in his life, where he's just sat down with some kid.
He moved into Prior Lake. He got a house out in Prior Lake.
Boy,
on this point in Prior Lake.
I forgot all about that. I was living in Prior Lake at the same time he was.
And the neighbors would always say, Harmon had come home from the afternoon game, and 6:30 at night in the summer, you'd see him mowing the lawn out there. He just hit a home run at the Met Stadium for a Thursday afternoon game, and he'd be out there mowing the lawn.
About once a month after church, we lived on Spring Lake. We'd go to church in Shakopee, and once a month we'd drive by Harmon's house on the way home.
Yeah, just that point out there.
Yeah, just to look at
My old
Harmon's
man
lawn.
had a chance to buy that point when we first moved to Prior Lake, but he bought the laundromat instead. Otherwise, I'd be living out on that point, and you guys could all...
Right. Oh, we'd be driving by with our aluminum chain link pontoon boats.
We would have sold all that land.
Yeah, we'd be driving by going, Harmon used to live there. We don't know who the jackass that lives there now.
Lives there now.
All right.
We will be back. Sports Talk. And we got Bruce Vail with the Your Money Now report coming to us courtesy of Owatonna's own Federated Insurance. Good news, bad news? What do you got, your big guy?
It's a mixed bag today. Stocks were bouncing around again today. The major indexes were mixed at the close of trading. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 42 points to 24,657. The Nasdaq Composite rose 55 points to a record high, and the S&P 500 gained 4. Nearly 80,000 telescoping aluminum ladders that were sold at Home Depot and Lowe's are being recalled due to a fall hazard. The ladders were imported by Werner, and that company said the ladders can break while they're in use. 5 different models of those ladders are being recalled. AMC Entertainment Holdings is launching a subscription movie service to rival MoviePass. AMC's service is called AMC Stubs A-List and will let members see up to 3 movies a week for $19.95 a month. The new service has several advantages over MoviePass, including the ability to book tickets days in advance, to do so in an app without a special debit card, and to see films in premium formats like 3D or IMAX at no extra charge. I'm Bruce Vail with Your Money Now on 1500 ESPN.
Okay, sir, we thank you very much. You can go now, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Check traffic here. It's really not too bad. This one's sponsored by Indeed, but yeah, the crosstown, the strip, both directions of both of those thoroughfares, it's the usual pell-mell nonsense between 169 and 35W. Northbound 35W backing it down at 46th Street, pounding those brakes right up to around 38th, where things actually loosen up a bit. That happens once you're into that zone. Westbound 94 slows down at Riverside, runs rotten through that double-lane zone in the downtown commons. Are you hiring? With Indeed, you can post a job in minutes, set up screener questions, then zero in on qualifying.
I got a question for you guys. Are there any more amazing 72-year-olds in America than me? Immaculately preparing this highly anticipated radio show.
You're the only
and then
one,
I got to haul my ass over and write a column off the Twins game tonight. How do you do it? I don't know how I do it.
Pretty darn good.
I don't know how I do it. I don't even take drugs.
Were you there? Well, maybe you should start. It's never too late. You weren't at the park, though, last night. You had something else going on?
No, I went home and lolled around it. But I watched every pitch of that game. I haven't done that too often this year, but I watched every pitch.
Sale hit Joe twice?
Yes. Well, the second time he did. No, Sale didn't hit him the second time. It was the other guy.
The reliever, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but the first time he was trying to bunt and got hit in the chest.
Saw that one.
Second time it hit his uni
barely
just
touched
made it
his
flooded.
uni.
But first time in his career he's been hit twice. You know, he's only been hit 27 times in his career.
Maybe that's the problem.
Yeah. Like Rod Carew, he never got hit either.
Was there payback?
No, God.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't.
It was really not intentional.
No. Not for Joe.
In fact, I heard when Joe got hit, he went, shucks.
Yeah, well, Joe wouldn't want you to go pay back because he wants someone to he didn't want somebody to actually really try to hit him in the neck or something.
Right.
Mackey was telling me that Sale is the only one of the few pitchers that Mauer does not like facing, and he's actually said so publicly.
He's had a few hits, but yeah, if you ask him who his unfavored pitcher is, it's Sale because he's funky lefty, you know. A lot of left-handers would agree with that. Anyway, here's the great John Haidt.
Thanks, Patrick. Partly cloudy.
Yeah, he's promised a crackerjack newscast today.
Good luck.
That'd
He
be
said
unusual.
even you'll be impressed, Kenny.
Yeah, we'll see.
78 degrees. Twins and Red Sox again tonight from Target Field. Lance Lynn for the Twins. David Price pitches for Boston. NHL teams will release their schedules tomorrow, but the Wild announced today its home opener, October 6th. That's a Saturday against the Vegas Golden Knights.
Oh, man. The defending Western Conference champs right off the bat.
Is that? Do they only play those guys once at home and once on the road? Is that how
you play Western teams 3 times, I believe, and sometimes they're 2-1, and sometimes it's 1-2.
Well, that one's going to cost me because I promised the kid I'd take him to the Transformers when they came to town. Season opener will be Thursday, October 4th in Colorado. Teams getting ready also for Friday's first round of the NHL draft.
Where do we open in Colorado again?
Yep.
We always open in Colorado. What the hell's the deal?
That's true. That has been a a standby to open it the last few years. News notes from today. Bowing to pressure from allies, President Trump signed an executive order today ending the process of separating children from families after they're detained crossing the U.S. border illegally. It was a turnaround for the president, who's been insisting, incorrectly, that his administration had no choice but to separate families because of federal law and a court decision. The action comes ahead of the president's visit to Duluth tonight. Until today, the president, Homeland Security Kirstjen Nielsen, and other officials had repeatedly argued the only way to end the practice was for Congress to pass new legislation. Well, Democrats said the president could do it with his say or signature alone, and that's what the president did.
We chased the Homeland Security gal out of the Mexican restaurant in Washington last night. Did you see that? Yeah. She was in there. The protesters
snuck in and said, "You get out of here." So she ended up leaving early.
Yes, she did.
Without paying?
I don't think she'd ordered
Dine and Dash. Mm-hmm. Apparently, they lost power today too, Johnny. I'm just seeing this note at the Duluth Entertainment Convention Center.
Oh, really?
They just sent out a tweet.
Isn't it called the AMSOIL Center?
Yes,
is that what it's called
now?
Yeah. Okay,
yeah.
But they just restored power to the convention center.
There are already a ton of people lined up. I saw some pictures on Twitter of walkways that were shoulder to shoulder.
And each side, I would imagine.
Any of my
we could get a good brawl going up there between the
pros. I wonder if any
and the
farmers showed up there because they supported him, and now they can't sell their damn soybeans because of his China thing.
I wonder, but supposedly this order he's signing throws a couple of curveballs in there. That it's not straightforward. There's some other stuff in there that would make it easier to hold the kids longer, I guess. I don't know.
U.S. Secret Service has been alerted in response to a tweet by actor Peter Fonda, who said Barron Trump, President Trump's youngest son, should be separated from his mother and, quote, put in a cage with pedophiles.
Oh,
wow.
That's kind of harsh.
What do you think? Fonda wrote in the tweet, "We should rip Barron Trump from his mother's arms, put him in a cage with pedophiles, and see if mother will stand up against the giant bleep hole she's married to."
She already actually did say that she disagreed with this decision.
Fonda has since deleted that tweet. First Lady.
How old is he? He's in his 70s.
78.
Us guys in the 70s. We can't be responsible for our actions.
No. We got to change the age of that.
You get into the 70s.
No, my cutoff is 85. You got to hit 85 before you can start saying the crazy stuff. Yeah.
He's got a new movie out he's getting raves for, so I think his brain is still there. So I think Kenny's right. I think we got to go to 85. First Lady Melania Trump's.
He could have gotten away with it if he didn't throw the pedophiles in there, I think.
First Lady Melania Trump's communications director called the tweet sick and irresponsible, adding the Secret Service has been notified. The Secret Service says they know about it.
You think Peter's going to snatch that fat little kid?
Said the agency is aware of the tweet but declined.
Careful, comment. Grandpa. You're only 72. You're not allowed to say that stuff yet.
What is that chubby little kid? Kind of funny looking. Kind of a funny looking little kid.
Okay, well, we're going to alert the Secret
But hell,
we're going to alert.
I was a funny looking kid, and look at me now.
Yeah. Still funny looking.
Workers will soon begin building a 250-foot long wall along the unstable Wabasha Bluff to enable the reopening of Wabasha Street, according to St. Paul officials.
You're going to make it harder to climb into the caves there, or easier? Isn't that where we got the caves?
Down at Wabasha? Yeah, there's a huge landslide just off of the bluffs there. So they closed the road down over by the taco house.
Did they?
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm in response to what you're.
Yes.
I'm trying to put a couple of visuals on it.
Yeah,
if you've been to the taco house, it's.
Wait. Oh my God! You know the name of
just down the street from Boca Chica.
Good tacos.
Boca Chica.
Boca Chica.
Yeah,
very fine Mexican restaurant.
Right next to the taco house.
Right next to the taco
house.
Stone's throw.
Security chief better not try eating there. We'll give her a lot of hell.
Right,
if she tries eating at Boca Chica.
The work should take about 12 weeks before they can get that done. Did you guys know lightning can break pavement?
We did know that. Thank you. Next story.
Well, about that. Guess that story is. Well, for those of you that didn't know
it. But with that
it,
teaser like that, Johnny, we can't stop now.
A lightning strike broke pavement on Highway 10 near Detroit Lakes. The Department of Transportation.
Huge news. Oh, my God. I hope you have video.
The Department of Transportation submitted photos saying it doesn't happen too often, but when lightning strikes pavement, it produces quite the crater.
Oh,
Bam.
really? So it's a good
right.
crater. How is the road closed then, Johnny?
No, it was still open.
Okay.
But there was a little hole.
You had to drive around it.
People just driving right over it like it's not even there.
Country folks are being hit harder by the U.S. obesity epidemic than city dwellers, according to 2 new government studies. Nearly 40% of rural American men and almost half of rural women are now statistically obese, according to the U.S. Centers for
John, I've
Disease
had enough
Control.
of your body shaming. Seriously. You got to crawl out of the whatever century you were in last century.
Yes. So you're saying anyone who doesn't live in the metro area is a
fat ass. Yeah. I don't need your body shaming, pal.
Yeah. You spend a lot of time in the country, don't you, Kenny?
Would you say it's fairly accurate?
No. So what? We're pleasantly plump.
Instead of city-its, you should call us skinny-its.
Yeah, there you go.
You know why? You know why they're fatter up there?
Why?
Because they're not idiots that paid $12 for a beer. They paid $3 like you're supposed to.
Yeah.
Got it.
That's
Okay.
They can get 5-6 beers for what it costs you for one.
Sandwich in every can, right?
That's only at a Twins game where it costs $12.
But Pat, it's kind of like what Thad Levine was saying about Miguel Sano last year when he was on the ride. Remember, he said he's a robust gentleman. He has a very generous carriage.
Generous carriage. Perfect way to put it.
A plump wife in a big barn never did a man any harm.
Do you have that on this one of those?
It's a bumper sticker.
Wood signs.
I do actually. It's a plaque that I found in my barn when I bought it.
When he's running out to cook in his underwear on the grill, he touches it as he walks by.
Like the Notre Dame guys.
Yeah.
You want to take a break, John?
Maybe we can do that. Sure, if you want.
You know, I'm gonna stick by my off-air comments about this song, Matthew.
This is about Kalaja. He never got a kiss. He was sitting in the store, couldn't say yes or no.
What's that have to do with Harmon?
This is Charlie Pride singing it.
Certainly not Charlie.
Turn that bleep off. Turn it off.
That's good. Okay.
My God.
He never got a kiss.
Charlie's pretty damn good. In fact, we might have Charlie as our musical guest on Friday.
That seems highly racist to me. That whole thing. That thing seems very racist.
A black guy singing about Indians? I don't know.
Yeah,
Indians, unrequited
uncomfortable.
love for Native Americans.
Would you have preferred burgers and fries? Charlie Pride?
That sounds a lot better, actually.
Johnny Hyde, what do you got?
Mississippi State baseball fan Terry Powell and his family willing to do all he possibly could to...
I think this is satirical, isn't it?
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Yes, but he does it very well. He's a very good actor, if you saw it.
Yeah.
He says he was willing to do anything he could to cheer on his team in the College World Series. Listen closely because this is recorded off a TV broadcast. They're doing a story on KMTV in Omaha when he told the reporter, yes, I will. I would do almost anything.
Sacrifices that we personally made to be here are incredible. My wife's boyfriend sold his prosthetic leg on Craigslist to afford me the opportunity to be here. But they get alone time, and I get a chance to be in Omaha.
If you missed that, he said his wife's boyfriend sold his prosthetic leg to get tickets to
the
be
wife's
there.
boyfriend was the part of the joke.
What's so unusual about that?
Just go get another one at Paul's Prothesis Palace.
You know, Mississippi State has always got that inferiority complex down there in Starkville, this dusty little town, and Oxford is basically Ivy League version of Mississippi. Yep. So
they hold college attendance records at their field. Did you know that
for college baseball?
Yep,
yeah.
Over 15,000.
They've never won it though, right? This they are in the winners bracket, and it looks like talk about a hillbilly battle. Arkansas is going to win the other bracket. They're going to be unbeaten after today.
4-0
in all likelihood.
Texas Tech.
That could be quite a cowboy meeting there.
In Florida, a mom determined to get her cell phone back from her 46-year-old son shot at him as he rode by on a bicycle.
Was he taunting?
66-year-old Priscilla Ann Etheridge was arrested Saturday.
And by the way, she hasn't aged gracefully.
No, the picture was... Allegedly fired a shot at the son after an argument caused him to storm out of the Panama City beach home they share. Etheridge then grabbed a .22 revolver, left the residence saying, "I'll be damned if I let him have the last word," on the way out the door. She soon caught up with her adult son on Front Beach Road, where Etheridge's son, pedaling on his bike, grabbed her car door before she squeezed off a shot to scare him into letting go. She later told deputies she thought her son left with her cell phone. She followed after him to get it back. The son said he took off on his bike to get away from his mom, adding that she yelled she was going to shoot him before pulling the trigger. Luckily, he wasn't shot, but he says the bullet came very close to hitting him.
Where was the cell phone?
Her cell phone was later found at the home.
Where was this, John?
Panama City Beach, Florida.
She overreacted.
Wow. She did overreact.
She should have grabbed the scatter gun.
Mm-hmm. How would this segment operate without Florida or alcohol?
Mm-hmm. I had a little alcohol-free dust up with the wife this morning.
Uh-oh.
This was based on...
Who ate the tipsy pie vodka infused cranberry?
No, it's complicated, but they're draining the pool to put the new liner in after the lawnmower went in the pool, right?
Sure.
Yep. So, and apparently the plug-in shorted out. So she said, just press the button and it'll come out. And I said, okay. And then she said, she's 2 rooms away, and she said, just press the button and it'll come out and it'll be okay.
Right.
And I said, okay, I've done that now. It's okay. And she said, just press the button. Anyway, the volume of my response kept getting higher.
Yeah.
And about the 5th time, I said, I bleeping heard you. I think I'm not at fault. I think the 5th time she tells you the same thing, then you have a right to explode. That's my thing.
I have pressed the... Did you?
She wouldn't talk to me.
Right. You know what you should do instead,
is all
Pat,
right.
Yeah.
is you should act like places of business and say, thank you for your patience. Should try that one on for size and see where it gets you.
I'm putting you on hold.
Council Bluffs man who is pleading guilty to operating while intoxicated after police said they found him next to his upside-down car will be sentenced in July. I use this story for one reason only. The man arrested, 21-year-old Benjamin Beer.
Okay,
Nice
very
name.
good.
What are the odds?
Where is he from?
Council Bluffs.
Oh, okay.
In China, I'm sorry about this, Patrick. I know you hate these. Doctor used tweezers.
No, I'm out.
Reached into a patient's ear, pulled out the cause of his discomfort.
Cockroach.
Parasite.
That's right, Kenny, a live cockroach. Video recorded at a hospital in Shenzhen City, Guangdong Province, shows the doctor using an otoscope to peer into the man's ear after he came in complaining of discomfort. Doctor then uses tweezers to pull out the live cockroach. The insect can be seen still moving after
It'd impress me if
removed.
somebody had a python in their ear. That'd impress me.
Why is there a serpent in your ear?
I got a python for you.
Oh my God!
Stop putting it in my ear.
Hey, my friend Wicker sent out a photo of him with Justify this morning. You know, he went to see Justify. So that, of course, gave me a chance to retell on Twitter my Secretariat story when I went twice, saw Secretariat. Both time he ran over to the fence and showed us his equipment.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask about Justify.
I don't know if Justify did. It did look like...
Is he like
was in the
Mr.
stall.
Ed?
Well, they all are. But Secretariat had come running down the hill and give you the quick stop.
Yeah.
Quick stop right at the fence and then drop it.
Yeah.
That was,
here you go. Here's the money maker.
I love that. What a guy. What a guy he was.
Didn't that happen in Star Trek when Chekhov, where they Ricardo Montalban put a big, huge gross in his ear. Look at that.
Disgusting.
Turn it this way, Rook.
There you go.
Gross.
Coming right out of his ear. Yeah.
Icky poo.
No wonder Captain James Tiberius Kirk was so upset with Ricardo Montalban.
You'd think these dum-dums would sleep with earplugs in.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
They did think he got it while he was sleeping. By the way, not shockingly enough, in China, he was surnamed Li, L-I.
Okay, so. All right. Hey, John, that's good enough.
Okay.
You had a hell of a day. I appreciate your effort. Hey.
What you got on the ride,
Is this
big guy?
bumper music?
Yeah, this is REM, Radio Free
I can't
Europe.
stand this song.
You don't like
No,
REM?
I think maybe because we've been playing it for 15 years now.
We can change it. We can change it.
Yeah, that's not one of my favorites.
You got carte blanche to play whatever you want.
REM, pretty well overrated anyway.
Michael's, I don't know about that. Hang tight.
I don't know.
You'll get an argument from the mayor. He will come out Michael Stipe will come out in a dress or an elephant suit or something weird, but he can.
Did you see, by the way, London Mail had a thing that mini skirts are becoming a fashion for guys over there. Yeah, they're walking in their mini skirts.
Would you want to have a?
I think wearing those as a male and recommending it as fashion as an acquired taste.
Well,
I don't
see. There's a caveat.
I don't think it's something that comes easily.
But there's a caveat that comes with that. I don't want to be able to wear a mini skirt. I need a long skirt to cover way down. Hey, I can't wear a mini skirt. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's true. The guys who are wearing those have kind of odd haircuts. They got odd haircuts too, from what I could see. But they had a fashion show when these guys were walking up and down the ramp there with their miniskirts on. Hey,
a State Fair Ride miniskirt contest.
Yes. Hey, Pete Abraham from the Boston Globe and Britt Robson from The Athletic with a little preview of the Timberwolves off-season here and the draft and whatever might be.
Many other surprises on the ride. Right. Coming up on the ride, 1500 ESPN is KSTP. St. Paul, Minneapolis, a beautiful, nice, easy 77 degrees. The ride's next.
Hi, this is Chris Howard, host of Plugged In with Chris Howard. It's crazy to think that a few weeks ago we were talking about whether or not Tua Tagovailoa should consider retiring after 2 concussions and worldwide debates on player safety and NFL culpability. Tua has done nothing but go back to work and currently has the Dolphins riding a 3-game win streak and 1 loss behind the division favorite Buffalo Bills. While everyone was yapping about the end of his career, Tua Tagovailoa said he'll decide when it's time. And clearly, he's not ready to hang up the cleats. Hi, this is Chris Howard from the Plugged In with Chris Howard podcast. BetOnline.net is your #1 source for betting football and the start of the new basketball season. Find all the latest player developments, team matchups, news, podcasts, and in-depth analysis on every game. BetOnline remains your continued source for all your sports wagering information with live betting, up-to-the-minute scores for the fastest and easiest way to check in on all your favorite games and events, including the MLB playoffs, the start of the NHL season, MMA, boxing, and golf. And if you love sports podcasts, you can find those at BetOnline as well. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more. BetOnline, where the game starts.